Hey Village family, I'm Sarah. I'm here to bring you a yoga sculpt routine today. So even if you don't have weights, you could still do this with body weight only. Or if you wanted to use something from your home that has a little bit of weight to it, that's also an option. Most importantly, take care of yourselves. Rest when you want to. Maybe you have a little bit of water or a sweat towel for this practice. Either way, have fun and take care of yourself. We'll start standing in Tadasana. Let your arms rest by your side. Bring a softness around your jaw, your mouth. Put a light seal on your lips and start to move your breath in and out through your nose. Creating a 360-degree expansion of breath throughout your trunk. Bring a little bit of ease into your shoulders and neck, and feel a strong connection to the earth with your feet. Lift and spread out your toes and then let them relax back down onto your mat. Find a sense of connection into your foot tripod. This is the knuckle of your big toe, the knuckle of your pinky toe, and the center of your heel. Connect those three dots with straight lines and find an energetic lift through the arch of both feet. If you had your eyes closed, you can open them now. And we'll just start to sway from side to side, feeling our weight slightly shift throughout our feet. You can even take this into a little bit of a circling motion if you prefer. Do your best to keep your foot nice and anchored without gripping with your toes. And your stance here should feel pretty natural. So some of you might like to step your feet all the way together. Other people like to have their feet more like hip width. So whatever makes you feel pretty stable and grounded is what we're after. And then let's go a little bit wider with the feet and set your toes slightly on a diagonal away from your heels, just a little bit of a turnout. And you'll have to kind of gauge your stance once you do get into about a half of a squat. So if you know Malasana, yogi squat, we're not going to go quite that deep just yet, maybe about halfway to your maximum. So I'm just resting my forearms lightly on my thighs so you can see how that works for you. And then let's move our spine into a version of cat and cow here. As you inhale, draw your chest forward through your arms and send your tailbone back and up. As you exhale, round your back, tuck your chin, and scoop your tailbone underneath you. Spine flexion. Inhale, extend your spine forward. Exhale, dome your back. One more time. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, tuck and round and flex. And then find that natural squat stance again. If you're feeling like your legs are a little bit fatigued and you need a rest, you could fold forward from here or stand up for a moment or two. Otherwise, we're going to draw the shoulders down the back, reach your right arm forward and a little out to the side on a diagonal. Let's reach up with the thumb. Once you max out that lifting reach, take your arm out to the side like a wing. Notice if your chest is turning, try to stay facing forward. Reach your right arm behind you, lift from the pinky side of your hand, and then reach it back to the right like a wing and then forward once again. Bring your hands together at your heart and stand all the way up. Little push from the tush here, squeeze your glutes, inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, cactus your arms, keep your spine pretty straight. Find a strong sense of pull from your shoulders. Let's do one more like that. Inhale to reach, exhale, strong pull. And then squat back down to that moderate depth. Reach your left arm forward and a little out to the side on that diagonal line, thumb leading. Keep your chest and shoulders pretty square. Take your left arm out like a wing, and then reach it behind you as high and as straight as it'll go. Keep tension out of your neck here. See if you can do the work in the back of your shoulder. Take your left arm back out to the side, and now reach it forward and a little on a diagonal line. Bring your hands together near your heart, push the ground away, stand up, squeeze your bum. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, do a pull-up with your arms. One more like that. And then just let your arms hang for a moment. Step your feet back into about hip width. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold over your legs. On your inhale, come up halfway, make your spine long and strong like a tabletop. And exhale, fold. Twice more just with that half lift position. Feel the work coming from the posterior chain. And fold. We'll do one more. And then bend your knees as much as you like. Step back to tabletop position. Start to circle your weight around your wrists in all directions. Spread out your fingers. Find strong anchor points in the big toe, not the big toe. We're working on the hands now. So index finger knuckle, thumb knuckle, and also out towards that pinky. Root down there, and you might grip just a little bit with the fingertips. And then settle into a neutral position with your spine. Traditional cat and cow to start. Wave your spine into extension as you inhale for the cow pose. Biceps roll forward, arms stay straight. Exhale, dome and round your back for the cat arch. Tuck your chin, drop your tail. Two more like that. Find your breath. Last one. Let's find a little bit of a lateral cat stretch. This feels to me more like wagging your tail. It's more like a side crunch, side stretch combo. Right hip towards right shoulder, left side gets longer. Now left hip towards left shoulder, right side gets longer. Establish a rhythm that feels about right for you with this movement. If you want to sync it up with your breath somehow, please do that. Let's do one more to each side, right and left. And then bring yourself up to a tall kneeling position. If you have any tenderness in your knees, please roll up your yoga mat in the middle to give yourself some extra cushion. Step your right foot out in front of you. Keep your left knee directly under your left hip. And then creep your right leg forward a little bit so your knee is behind your ankle, because we're going to use this front leg now to pull your hips forward and push them back. Three more like that. Feel some work in the back of your right hamstrings to pull your hips forward. And then really push through your heel to go back. Last one. You might feel this in your ankle a little bit too. Moving back and forth between plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Now pause here in this half kneeling position. Adjust so that your ankle is directly under your knee, more or less. Take your arms out to a T. Breathe in here. Exhale, side stretch to your right. Inhale, reach vertically. Exhale, twist open to the right. Left arm forward, right arm sweeps back behind you. Drop your tailbone down slightly so you can neutralize your pelvis and lengthen into your low back. Relax shoulders, take another breath, and then face forward. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your mat, step back, tabletop. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Twice more. Come up to the shin kneeling position and step your left foot forward. Bring your right hip over your knee, but walk your left heel forward more. Arms can be doing anything here. You can just lay them by your sides if you prefer. Find a gentle scissor action of your legs. Pull your hips forward into a deeper stretch in that lunge, and then push yourself back. Let the movement here come from the hip. So try to keep it out of your low back by tucking under slightly with your pelvis. One more, a little pull forward, little push back. Now stack left knee over ankle. Take your arms out to that T position. Inhale. Exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, reach vertically. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Right arm forward. Sweep your left arm back. Find a nice, strong connection to the core here for this rotation. Come back to the front. And then set your hands back down. This time we're going to step it back to our downward dog. Establish a firm base of support through your hands. Powerful reach overhead with the arms. And feel free to do what you like in down dog. Maybe a little pedaling action, swaying the hips slightly as you walk your dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank pose. Pause here for a few breaths. Keep your spine neutral. And find a sense of your hands dragging backwards towards your toes. Keep that sense of pulling, almost like you're going to do a pull-up, but instead of pulling up, we're going to pull ourselves down nice and slow, all the way. Untuck your toes. Press tops of feet down. Fly your arms behind you like you're going to high five your heels. Tuck your tailbones slightly. Reach your arms as high as they'll go. Now rise your chest. Lengthen through the sides of your neck. Bend your elbows. Just a little help from the arms here for a working cobra. Don't worry about how high you go. And then come all the way down. Cobra number 2 or an upward facing dog. Your choice. And then a strong core to pike your hips up and back, downward face. Bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. Either step or hop your feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, upward salute, arms reach. Exhale your hands into your heart. Tadasana, arms by your side. Take a moment. Be with your breath. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge through your hips and dive down. Halfway lift, long and strong. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Take your version of the vinyasa if you would like. Otherwise, it's okay just to step back to downward facing dog. Downward dog, right leg will lift, bend your knee, let your hips open to the right. Try to keep your chest mostly facing square and then rotate your right hip. Reverse the direction. Lift your left heel, stretch your right leg up. Breathe in. Exhale, shift and tuck, pull thigh to chest, shoulders over the wrists. Pause here and breathe for 3, 2, step forward. High crescent lunge. Arms can reach overhead. Inhale. Exhale, arms fly back. Hinge forward slightly. Rebend your back leg. Get a little lower. Arms go overhead. And then bring your hands to the ground. Optional vinyasa flow or down dog. Stretch your left leg up, bend your left knee, find some controlled rotations throughout your left hip. Stretch your left leg up and back, lift your right heel to make some space for your step through, and then control. Draw your thigh to your chest, find that tucked plank, push the floor away for 3. Find the cat arch, 2. Now step forward, come on up to a high crescent warrior. Inhale here. Exhale, arms go back like wings. Let's keep the palms facing the floor on this one. Rebend your back leg, bring your spine to a vertical position. Arms can sweep back overhead. Now hands to the floor, optional flow, just like we did before. Otherwise, skip it and move right back to downward dog. Lift your heels, tiptoe, or hop your feet forward. Set your stance for Utkatasana, chair pose. Legs could be really squeezing together here. That's how I like mine. But again, if you feel more natural with your feet a little wider, that's okay too. Bring your arms out in front of you, maybe slightly wider than your shoulders, almost like a V shape. That'll give you a little more room around your neck. On your exhale breath, sit a little lower. Take your arms back like wings. Think of your spine here as tabletop position. So we want just our natural spine curves without overdoing a cat or a cow in the spine. Inhale, raise your arms, stand all the way up. Exhale, cactus, pull with a little back bend on top. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna have a little bit of movement here, some combinations with the weights. And as I said before, if you don't have weights, it's fine. So from your forward fold, bend your knees more, drop your hips down and back. If you're using weights, you're gonna reach for them now and come to a chair pose with your weights to your shoulders. Just a pretty simple combination movement here. Elbows about in front of the shoulders if possible. We're gonna lower down into that chair pose and then overhead shoulder press as we stand up. Find a breath rhythm that works for you with these two movements. Right now, I'm doing inhale to lower, exhale to overhead press. And you can see in this moment in time that my breathing is different because I'm talking to you. So it's very likely that your breath is going to be in a different speed and rhythm than mine. So it's up to you to sort that out. As you raise your arms overhead, be mindful that your rib cage doesn't expand forward into a back bend. So keep those low ribs knitted together. And if you're ever feeling this in your neck, again, take your arms a little wider once you reach them overhead. That might help. Last 4 like this. 2 more. Last one. Find your chair. Hinge through your hips. Tip your body forward on a diagonal. Bring your arms beside you for triceps extension. Being mindful of that rib to pelvis connection as well. So we want to shorten the space between the front rim of our pelvis and our lowest ribs to keep our low back long. And then with this tricep extension, we're going to try to keep the upper arm bones really quiet and just hinge at the elbows. Breathing. Little tuck of the chin to keep our neck happy. Let's do 1 more set of 8. Shoulders away from the ears here. Let's do 5. You have 3. More weight in the heels. Last one. Hold your arms straight up and back in that extended position. Small range pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Weights to the shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Set your weights down. Pedal out your legs. Heel toe your feet out wider and find a yogi squat. Your depth. I call this the basement right now, so I'm in my deepest range of motion in this squat. And for now, I'm adding a little bit of resistance with my legs. So just a gentle pressure inward with the legs against the arms. And your arms are just staying real stable and strong, broadening through the collarbones. Now let's keep really active in this squat and see if we can stand up super slow. So you're going to reach your arms out in front of you with an interlace grip. Try to come up vertical 1 inch without tipping your chest forward. So just straight up like an elevator. And another inch. 1 more. 1 more. Another inch. Creeping up to the top floor. Let's do 3, 2, all the way standing. What goes up must come down. So let's elevator with control back down to the basement. 1 inch at a time. Lowering for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's pause at 5 for 5, 4, 3, 2, Lower down for 4, 3, 2, 1. In the basement, but still pushing into the floor. Come up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, 3, 5, 3, and we're in the basement again. Take a moment. And then we'll go back to a forward fold, heel toe your feet back in. Uh-oh, I have an obstacle now. Tuffy, you're gonna have to move, buddy. Come on. All right, reach for your weights, please. Step your right foot forward and your left leg back so that you're in a runner's lunge. Now you're gonna come up on a diagonal with your spine, so about 45 degrees or so. So it feels like almost like you're about to sprint away in this lunge. Just a simple row from here. Pull back, hugging shoulder blades to spine, keeping the collarbones wide, and anti-shrugging those shoulders down away from your ears, so pulling straight back and up. Now we're going to add on a triceps extension after we row. It's a row and a kickback. Slowly control down. Pull, extend, lower. Pull, extend, lower. Let's do 8. How's your breath? Just 5 more. Keep pressing down through your front heel like you're trying to drag it backwards. Just 3 more. Final one. Now, let your arms just rest down for a moment, wrists hanging under the shoulders. Bump your back foot closer, bend your back knee, and upright your spine. So this is more like a split squat stance rather than a lunge. Pelvis is slightly tucked, so low back is long. Come all the way up with straight legs, and then lower straight down. Now bend your elbows, knuckles facing forward as you straighten your legs, lateral raise. Lower, lift, breathe. Continuing for 8, 7, 6, 5 more, 4, just 3, 2, and 1. Step forward to the front of your mat, Tadasana. Notice how your breathing is. Is there any unnecessary holding or tension in your jaw, in your face, in your breath? Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg backwards. Runner's lunge with your weights in hand. Bring your spine up on a diagonal. And then we're going to row again. Pull back, lower down. We're going to add the tricep kickback after the row. Trying to keep that front chest broad without losing the ribs. What I mean by that is for the ribs to stay tucked down as part of your core container rather than flaring forward into almost like a spine extension. So we're going to keep the back pretty neutral. Nice strong pull. Control that kickback so there's no flinging or swinging. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then let your arms rest for a second. Step your back foot a little closer, but keep it off to the right so you're on train track stance rather than a tightrope. Bring your spine vertical, Bend into your back knee pretty deeply. Neutralize pelvic tuck, so it's not overly done, but we're also not back bending here. So find your neutral. We're going to do a little bit of something different with the arms on this round. So elbows are going to come straight out east and west from the shoulders. As you straighten your legs, you're going to chest press in. As you bend both knees, open it wide. And then send it back in. As you straighten, find a rhythm. How can you sync up your movement here with your breath? Or maybe you're just breathing naturally and doing the best that you can. Let's do 4 more. Beautiful. All right, here, let's just step forward, okay? Let your arms rest, step forward, Tadasana. Recalibrate your breath. And then fold forward over your legs. Set your weights down. Step yourself back to a plank. If you prefer a plank on the forearms, that would be fine too. Stay broad in your chest and collarbones here. Don't overdo the cat pose. So you're thinking about lengthening your sternum. Keep your tailbone pretty heavy without over tucking. Try to neutralize the spine. Fire the quads and really press into your toes. Can you find a little support from the glutes? Downward dog, hips go high. Our next little combo is going to be weight free, so body weight only. It'll be a plank and a twisting bear. So what I usually like to do is to inhale to the plank, exhale, twisting bear. Hips pivot along with the heels over towards that right side. Here you're kind of crunching into the right side and stretching the left side. Come back to plank, twisting bear. Find your own best speed and rhythm. One that feels challenging but also sustainable. Just about 10 more seconds. Downward facing dog, separate your feet pretty wide. Walk your hands back a few degrees towards your toes. Left hand to the middle of your mat. Twist your down dog. Right hand can reach for that left lower leg. Pelvis staying pretty square, but rotating the chest left. And then switch. Left hip might want to twist with you, so keep kind of rolling your left hip back to neutral. And then back to your downward dog. Drop your knees, nice and slow. You can take a simple kneeling pose for a rest or a child's pose. Maybe your eyes closed. See how that feels. Reconnect inward. All right, we're going to do just a little bit of work for our hips now with some isometrics. So we'll step the right foot outside of the hands like almost like a lizard lunge, dragon lunge. Left knee can be quite a ways behind your hip as long as you're feeling good with that. But don't be tempted to sink into your hips here. Make it a little bit energetic and supportive. So it's almost like you're trying to squeeze your legs into that scissoring motion. And then keep your foot really planted firmly here through that tripod and squeeze your leg into your arm. And your arm's just going to kind of brace backwards. Brace back into the leg. And then try to keep your foot neutral and grounded. Open up your leg a little bit out to the side on a diagonal. Your knee is just going to trace outward as your hip slightly opens. And then squeeze your leg back into your arm. Nothing changes in the foot. All this movement is coming from the hip. Let's sweep it away again like the wing on a dragon, and then squeeze in. One more set like that. Now your left hand can be on a yoga block. Your left hand can just stay on your mat. Lift your chest slightly. Take your right arm out in front of you like you're going to shake someone's hand. Keep that leg scissors strong. Right arm up, overhead, open your chest to the right, and then reach your right arm behind you. Bend your left knee, but try not to hold your foot here. So even if you can get your hand around your foot really easily, we're just going to use our left hamstrings here to create this knee position without using help from this right arm, which might actually induce a little bit of a cramp. So if that happens to you, you can just come out of the pose and join me again when you're ready. So we're supporting this joint position with a little bit of muscular activation. You don't have to overdo that, but be supportive to your structure. Keep squeezing your heel towards your bum and breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, let it go. Let's switch legs here. So you're either going to just do a step, maybe through a down dog, or you can bring your fingertips down, tuck your back toes, lift your left knee, and really lightly scissor switch your legs. And then heel toe your left foot out, bring your right knee down, find the dragon lunge. Squeeze your leg into your arm. Your arm's going to resist back. Keep your chest broad and open. Now a little bit of abduction from your left hip. Sweep your left thigh bone out away from your arm without changing your foot position. So now it's all hip. And then squeeze your leg back in to your arm. And then sweep it away. The rest of your body staying nice and stable. One last time, hug your arm into, your leg into your arm. Now your right hand can stay just like this. I personally like just a little more space, so I like to take my hand on a block. Left arm reaches forward, thumb up. Continue to reach and circle your arm back behind you as you turn your chest open to the left. Think of dragging your front heel backwards so you keep your hamstrings supporting you with that left leg. And now invite a contraction from your right hamstrings as if you were going to take your crooked monkey. And I know that you can probably reach back and grab that foot, but let's ask our hamstrings to do a little work here. Invite a little squeeze from the right tush as well, and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then let it go. You can retreat back to a child's pose or a downward facing dog. And then let's come down onto the knees and the shins. Couple of options for this next position. It's essentially going to be a half splits, but you could do your half splits sitting your hips back or keeping your hips over your knee. So I'll show you both. Left leg coming out front, just like traditional Ardha Hanumanasana. Toes can lift. And you're just working on a nice tensional stretch in the back of your right thigh. If your left knee and ankle are okay with it, you could also just sit all the way back onto your heel, potentially supporting your right seat with a yoga block. And then deepen your hip crease hinge. Keep your back nice and long and send your sternum towards your big toe. See if you can expand your breath now to the sides of your ribs, to the back of your ribs. Notice how your spine feels in this stretch. Use your breath to soothe your body and to keep connecting back inward to your thoughts and your emotions and whatever else is going on in your inner landscape. Stay connected to now. Rebend your front leg. And let's switch. Find your version of the half splits position, hips stacked over the right knee or dropping your seat back, a lengthening wave up in your spine, and then hinge through your left hip and fold any amount. Your body will probably put the brakes on when it's finding that Goldilocks spot. And then you can allow your breath to explore deeper versions of the pose as we're here. Just allowing the body to find that natural stopping point without trying to force or take anything that doesn't really belong to us in this moment. Inviting in this transformation without any expectations. Just seeing what unfolds. Go ahead and release your half splits. To finish out this practice for today, I'll invite you to either lie down into a resting shape, just like Shavasana. You could kneel like this, or you could take a seated meditation if you just like to cross your legs out in front of you, or maybe a lotus position if that's your meditation seat. So basically just make yourself comfortable and bring your body into as much effortlessness as you can achieve right now. If it feels right, close your eyes. Be a student of your own body right now. Notice how your breath can be more subdued now that the effort of your practice is also more subdued. Relax away any gripping or holding around your neck, shoulders, jaw, throat, forehead. And give yourself the gift of stillness right now. An opportunity just to be. I invite you to keep your body exactly as it is for now and for as long as you think you want. This will be the end of my guidance today, but if you feel like that your mind and your body and your heart could benefit from a little bit longer experience at rest, I highly encourage that. I'd like to thank you for committing this time in your day to practice with me. And I hope to offer you something again real soon. If you have any requests, let me know. Namaste.